Welcome back to the Focussed Educator. I'm your host, and this is episode 4 of a series designed to help you create more engaging, meaningful learning experiences for your students. Today, we are diving into one of my absolute favorite topics: students' voice, choice, and agency, and how these connect beautifully with inquiry based learning. If you have ever wondered how to get your students more invested in their learning, ask deeper questions, and take ownership of their educational journey, then this episode is for you. Let's start by getting clear on what we mean by student voice, choice, agency, and just as importantly, what these concepts are not. Student voice means giving students opportunities to express their thoughts, opinions, and questions about their learning. It's not just asking, "Are there any questions?" at the end of a lesson and getting silence. True student voice means creating spaces where students feel safe to wonder out loud, challenge ideas respectfully, and share their thinking process. Student choice involves providing meaningful options in how students learn, what they explore, or how they demonstrate their understanding. It's not letting students do whatever they want without purpose or structure. Real choice is curated. It's offering multiple pathways that all lead to important learning goals. Student agency is when students take ownership of their learning journey, setting goals and monitoring their progress. It's not abandoning our role as educators or lowering expectations. Instead, it's about shifting from being the sage on the stage to being a learning partner who guides students as they develop independence. Here's where inquiry-based learning becomes the perfect vehicle for voice, choice, and agency. When we structure learning around questions, especially questions that students help generate, we naturally create opportunities for all three. Instead of starting with answers, we start with curiosity, and that changes everything. Let me share 3 practical strategies that blend these concepts with inquiry-based approaches. Strategy 1: the question wall evolution. Start with traditional question wall, but here's the twist. Let students categorize and prioritize the questions they want to explore. Begin a unit by asking, "What do you wonder about this topic?" Collect all their questions. Then give students voice in deciding which questions drive your learning journey. Provide choice in how small groups tackle different questions. Some might research, others might experiment, some might interview experts. This gives students agency in becoming the authors of their own learning adventure. Strategy 2: student designed investigations. Here's where inquiry truly comes alive. Instead of giving students a pre-designed lab or research project, teach them the inquiry project and let them design their own investigations. For example, if you're studying environmental science, students might ask, "How does music affect plant growth?" or "What's the cleanest water source in our community?" They choose their question, design their method, determine how to share their findings. You're still there to guide and ensure scientific rigor, but they are driving the inquiry bus. Strategy 3: reflection through inquiry. Transform typical reflection from "What did you learn?" to inquiry-based questions. What did new questions emerge from today's learning? Which question surprised you the most? If you could investigate one thing further, what would it be and why? This approach honors students' voice by valuing their wondering, provides choice in what they want to explore deeper, and builds agency by helping them become aware of their own learning processes. As we wrap up, remember that inquiry-based learning isn't just about asking questions. It's about creating a culture where questions are valued, where students feel empowered to seek answers, where learning becomes an adventure of discovery rather than a series of assignments to complete. When we combine student voice, choice, and agency with inquiry based approaches, we are not just teaching content, we are teaching students how to be lifelong learners, critical thinkers, and curious human beings. Here's your challenge for this week. Start one lesson, not with information, but with a question, and let your students help shape where that question leads. Maybe begin your math class asking what patterns did you notice in the world around you, or start history with what would you want people 100 years from now to know about our time. Trust the process, trust your students, and prepare to be amazed by the depth of thinking and engagement that emerges when we honor their natural curiosity. Thanks for joining me on The Focussed Educator. If today's episode sparked some questions on your own, I'd love to hear them. Until next time, keep focusing on what matters most, nurturing the natural inquirers in every one of your students. Thank you. See you soon.